Hey, welcome back, Keith. Welcome back, viewers. We're now talking about Olympus Season 9 main event here on DBN. I'm here with Keith Worsel. How are you doing tonight, Keith?
I'm doing great.
We just had our shortest episode ever, talking about spring 1906, and now we're going to do fall winter 1906. We're looking at Denmark. We're looking at Adriatic. We're looking at Ionian, Burgundy, I guess, and Western Med. We couldn't really come up with much more to look at here. Final prediction: does Turkey take Ionian, or do we see a Russian army in Trieste, a Turkish army in what do we think happens?
I think Turkey tries to take Ionian. I'm guessing that German unit, they're going to hedge their bets on 3-on-3. Just makes the most sense here. I don't know if Turkey helps Russia get bigger.
Well, Turkey would theoretically be getting Serbia in exchange.
Assuming Serbia is a mover, yeah.
You know, Tim's playing a dangerous game here. It's got the fleet in Romania, but that's still dangerous to Turkey. Turkey should never convoy that army off, by the way. The classic stab of Turkey from this position is usually there's an army in Galicia, right? So it's Romania to Black, Galicia to Romania, that sort of thing. But all right, let's see what happens, baby.
Skagerrak is popped, so those order sets were predictable in the north. Russia does not bounce Munich. It comes down to Bohemia so they can secure Trieste later. England has bounced Mid-Atlantic and gone to the west, like you had said. I'm dancing around the big one.
You're missing the big one. We got an IT.
I don't know if it's an IT because Turkey still prioritizes the Ionian, even though it is triple supported. But Italy pulls Bulgaria in, which I'm not sure if that's malicious support or not. Because had Russia put 3 on Trieste, it would have failed from Serbia. But it knew that Italy or that Turkey was going to move Bull Sur because it's been doing it for like 4 years now. So it could have just been malicious support to blow it up.
This is a critical error by Russia. I think Budapest is just holding. What is Budapest doing? Can you look at the order to verify?
Budapest is supporting Vienna. Yeah.
Okay. Budapest just supporting Vienna.
All right. On Vienna. Because it was a valid idea that if everything was supporting Serbia,
well, why would what malicious support? Like, why would Turkey go to Serbia? Italy just says I'm supporting you there.
Turkey's been going to Serbia. Turkey has been going to Serbia. It almost looks like Russia was offering it because Serbia goes to Albania here.
God, does it? Or does it retreat to Albania? Or is it blown up? You pull it off the board. I can't read these orders on this map. What is it? What do we say here?
It could go to it's blown up. But had Albania taken Ionian, Serbia would have walked out and Bulgaria would have walked in.
So Serbia was moving to Albania here.
It was.
That tells me Tim realizes he can't. That tells me Tim tells me he can't win. At least it should hold. I guess he's tapping it. Why would he tap it, though, to his friend? Because he knows it's moving. All right. So he's fine with this. Tim is fine with this.
I feel like he's trying to move out the way. I think they assume that they're going to get Ionian here. But I'm not sure. I still think Trieste is malicious support. I don't think Italy and Turkey work this out. But I don't know why Tim would just give up Serbia here. Even though that looks exactly like what he's doing. Unless he's counter-throwing.
If it's an RT, that is a Turkish dot. And Trieste is a Turkish dot, not Russian.
Right.
Ugh. Yeah.
But arguably, making Italy disband would be more important
Yeah. I agree with
than
that.
balancing out the alliance. To put Albania into Trieste.
Well, like, whatever. Right now in 1907, Trieste is falling if something else doesn't happen. There's 5 on 4.
Assuming they stick together, yeah. Maybe Turkey gets hungry.
It's a dangerous game. Okay.
Especially
That's
with a tie in
super.
Eastern Med.
Well, yeah. And then it's also dangerous in the sense that we've got Cedric now in the Western Med.
Yep.
Now, I don't think Tunis is under threat here at this point.
No, he's going to finish off Iberia. He's going to want to flood more into to get closer to the Italian dots. He's got to come protect Philip. Protect.
Just gives him more. Just gives him more options. There was another draw proposal at this point, right, Keith? With supposedly
I think every
someone
season there's been
another draw vote that's failed.
It didn't really fail. What happened was that they wanted to concede to Cedric because in a normal draw, Tim would win the tiebreaker. And so they're like, we can either concede now or we have to play a whole nother year to get Cedric another point so we can actually draw. Because they can't physically do a draw because Cedric will lose, and obviously he's not going to draw. But in our rule set, we don't have anything that allows people to concede or what happens in a concession. So that's something we'll have to add next time.
Well,
but for now,
it's never happened.
An early draw has never happened. Nonetheless, an early concession, that's even more outlandish. To concede to someone who's not winning.
I note that Darcy does not get Denmark back. This is a clear indication.
He does not get Denmark back.
That it is a clear indication that he's okay with Cedric winning.
He has put up a Berlin Wall. He is making sure that nobody gets his dots but Cedric from behind. And I think Italy's stuck in the same position.
Well, I mean, Cedric.
So unless Russia or Turkey are good at sweet talking them into turning around and letting them win, it's just a big king making game. It's kind of interesting to evolve into that quickly.
It can't draw now for the same reason that you just pointed out. It's still 8-8. Cedric didn't get a center. Didn't get a center this time, and it's not as if Rob is just giving it to Cedric. Oh, take my center and draw. That's not it. I mean, Rob's still fighting as best he can. And I know we're going to do grades and he'll get like an F from you. But like my point is Rob's played a valiant France to, still be at this point. I really.
He's had quite literally the best tactics out of all 7 of them, period. Had he had one ally, he would have been a force to be reckoned with. His tactics have been so amazing. And some of the stuff that he's done, better than what I would have ordered. So much props to Rob there. But unfortunately, he's dying, so.
Yeah. All right, let's play what do you want to build? There's no builds from England. There's no builds from France. There's no builds from Germany. Oh, thank you. You made it easier. There's a rebuild for Russia.
Yeah, one for Turkey and a rebuild for Russia because he went down 2 units and 1 center. Because he went down 1 center, now Cedric is in the lead. So they could draw here. I don't know if they can draw in a winter phase though. They might have to wait till spring.
They could draw, yeah, after the winter concludes. Okay, so I was totally wrong. I wish I could cut that out, but I can't because I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I'm Turkey and I draw. I don't know if I am, but it's a really interesting
I
Turkey.
play it out from Turkey. I definitely
I
play it
think
out from Turkey, especially if I think Russia might throw to me. If Russia's really upset with EG, and those dots might be mine, I might do it. Maybe Italy does it too. I mean, Turkey really hasn't done anything versus Italy that much. Italy's been more anti-Turkish than vice versa. So I think Italy has more to hate against Russia. So Turkey's the only one on this board that can really win outside of England. And yeah, I don't take it if I'm Turkey. I'm swinging anything I can.
I have a view of this, but I'd like to get your view first. What does Turkey build?
I would build Army Khan, just because I think that the only way I'm going to win is by a throw. And I think that when Trieste goes, more than likely, Eastern Med's going to be pulled. So I don't really need that fleet pressure anymore. Well, I guess Trieste could be popped, so I guess they might have to stay there. I just feel like it's going to be really awkward to move those fleets around. I just think Army Khan is what's necessary for me to pick up more dots faster than England. If Russia's not thrown at me, I mean, you could say fleet and start grinding out the Ionian, but that's slow and you might as well draw.
It's really tough to decide what to do. I really think it is, because part of me is like, you can't ever count on a throw no matter what Tim says, because I think Tim's a competitor. Part of me is like, a fleet.
Right.
A fleet is really flexible. It can attack. It can attack Russia. It can, it can finally break the Ionian. But without an army, you're pretty vulnerable to.
I mean, the fleet's
pretty vulnerable to Russia.
The fleet's
without
probably
an
the
army.
way to go if you're just playing. If you're playing this out, but an army is nice because it gives you options to take dots if they're offered. Right now, you have one army in Serbia, and if Italy and Russia aren't on board, that Serbian army doesn't have much flexibility. It's not like a fleet can cover that, and Smyrna's locked down. So I feel like the army is the way to go. That's the only really chance of growing. But like I said, it really depends on your diplomacy with your two neighbors. So
I think he builds a fleet.
is Italy going to cover Tunis and let? We'll see.
It also kind of depends on the Russian.
What would you build if you're?
If I
I'm assuming it's not a stab by Turkey. So I don't think I see anything in Sevastopol because I don't think Serbia was a stab. What gets me is that Russia continuously does not build in St. Petersburg, ever at all. Not to save Skagerrak. And I'm like, is he still trying to court England, even though England's really not doing anything for him? I'm just not sure. It's like, I don't really know how many armies you're going to build against Germany, expecting some different result. But
I think he builds Army Moscow.
I would build in St. Petersburg. Why Moscow? Why would you build Moscow?
I mean, it's an attempt to get England to stab Germany. You can cover St. Petersburg for a turn.
But didn't he do that before? He didn't have a build there. 2004, he built Warsaw and St. Petersburg. 2003, he built Warsaw instead of St. Petersburg.
He doesn't want to fight Cedric. He doesn't want to fight Cedric. He doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to fight Cedric, but in essence, he's pretty much just giving Cedric his dots. So he's no better.
I think he builds Moscow.
Especially if
I would
Darcy's
build
not
St.
willing
Petersburg.
to flip.
Like, what about South Coast St. Petersburg? Or would you prefer an army or a fleet North Coast?
I'd probably build an army in St. Petersburg. I think it essentially does the same thing. If you get bounced out of St. Petersburg, then you're in Moscow anyway. So it's not like anything's going to tap it or push into your interior any. I generally always say Moscow when you can build Moscow, but I don't think Turkey is a threat here. And if Turkey's a threat, then I'd rather have Turkey on my dots than the EG. That's just me personally.
South Coast St. Petersburg is interesting because it almost forces Cedric to take Sweden. Because Bothnia can only bounce it. I mean, Baltic can only bounce it. If they want to get rid of that fleet, Cedric has to be in Sweden. He's the only one with fleets, other than the one Baltic.
Well, I mean, just go Norway to Barents and Skagerrak to Norway.
It could all, yeah. Well, I think that's what will happen. That Norway will go to Barents. That Skagerrak will go to Norway. Having said that,
I see what you mean. If it goes to Bothnia, then you can still support it with. Well, I guess Livonia is there. Livonia would have to come back to Moscow to ensure that it can't be cut.
Or Warsaw.
If you went St. Petersburg, South Coast to Bothnia, Livonia to Moscow, and I got a bounce out of Bothnia, then you would still be able to hold St. Petersburg. That's valid. That's a good defense. I actually like
that. What do we see? I'm going to go Fleet Con, Army Moscow. That's final answer is what I think they're building.
I'm not going to go with what I think. I mean, I'd like to see Fleet St. Petersburg, South Coast, and Army Con, but I still think Nikita's going to prioritize his defense. So I think it's going to be more Fleet Con. I'd still like to see Army St. Pete though.
Before you do it, I think I like Army Moscow if it is really attempting to get Cedric saying, okay, fuck it, dude, take St. Petersburg, okay, but I'm going to stab Turkey now. Romania go to black, Moscow Sev, Budapest, like I'll do a Congo line here. You kill Germany. That's what I would try if I was Tim. I don't know if it'll work. All right, pull it up. Boom, baby.
I don't know what he does with that army. At all.
Bounce it.
Bounce what?
Well.
Bounce what?
Well,
you're like, come get St. Petersburg. I'm just going to hang out back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the only thing that Moscow can do is come back down to Sev and pick a fight with Turkey. You're like, screw it. But
has Germany outlived his usefulness, or do we still wait and just take French dots now?
Germany's not even in a position to pivot, really.
Oh, sorry. Does England take French dots and not attack Germany?
Oh, yeah. If you have Marseille and Spain and Portugal and Germany is content holding that line, let them do it. That's what I'd do. I've done that before. Just let them hang out and keep Russia in check until you have a position that's better than Russia's or as good, which he already does.
Yeah, I'm not at all certain Cedric does that. I know you know him better than I do. The problem is there does become a pressure to win here. And where does Cedric grow after France?
Well, I mean, Italy's locked up in the Med, so he's going to want to get into Tyrrhenian Sea. I think past Gascony, he definitely loves being able to flood the Med one way or the other. He loves being in Mid-Atlantic if he's Italy, and if he's England, he likes to be in West. So I think his growth is in Italy, actually. And if he does prioritize that over hitting Germany, that means he is looking for solo.
Does he prioritize Mid-Atlantic over Marseille in the spring?
I don't think it's. I think West taps Spain, and he just take both.
Perfect point. Is Burgundy the mover?
Yeah, I'd move Burgundy.
Burgundy has to be the mover.
Yep. Burgundy and Brest.
Although I kind of do like a Gascony mover if you're going to stab Germany eventually, right? But you really want to finish off France. Okay.
He's looking at 2 builds here. So if he's got 2, then there's plenty of units to build in the back line to stab later.
Are we going to see a Russia attack on Turkey and just forego St. Petersburg?
I hope not. That'd be. I mean, the only reason you would see that is if for some reason Turkey's like, I don't want to draw, and then everyone's like, you're going to draw. We're going to show you that there's no growth path, and that's everybody giving up.
Should there be a draw? Should they draw?
If they can't convince Darcy that there is a path to win, or that they're just as deserving and to continue to try to play for the best position, then there's not really any reason to continue playing. I think Russia lost when they stabbed Italy for the second time. They could have had at least 3 Turkish dots and raced England a little bit better. And then Italy would have been in a position to actually tap or protect France a little bit, protect itself, keep England in check from growing, maybe been your friend for a half second so you actually get a few extra centers at the very end. But at this point, I don't think Nikita's giving anything up. I think Russia chose poorly.
Can Darcy win?
Not with that attitude. I think if he was actually in contention to win, then he would have taken Denmark back. He would have negotiated Denmark back. And I think Tim has given him a ton of space, saying, I'm just going to focus on Italy. I'm moving off your border. Like, leave me alone. Go protect yourself. And Darcy's like, no. So
if Darcy can't win, is it a legitimate goal of Darcy to try and finish second?
I don't think it's a bad goal.
It could happen, right?
Seems like it just seems like it was a little premature to play that way when you still had a decent position.
I mean, I don't think from this position. I don't think from this position he can win. He doesn't have.
No.
I don't know where his next build comes from, and he has no. He has one fleet.
He needed to build that fleet last time. If he had built that fleet to secure Denmark and pop Skagerrak without Cedric having to build everything behind, they would have done a lot better as a team. Right now, it's just an E. So
the only way for Cedric, in my mind, not to win is for Russia to give dots to Turkey, or for there to be a board-wide alliance that essentially gives dots to Turkey. That everybody goes up and kills Germany and rushes to the Med to stop Cedric. All of that is advantage Turkey. I see no evidence that the players in this game wish to do that, particularly Italy and Russia.
Yeah, I think Italy is a linchpin there. If Germany's not going to play, then at least if you had the remaining 4 powers, you could probably stop them at a stalemate line, enough to throw Turkey enough to get on top. I've been in that position in DB&I too, so it's definitely a valid play. England's still going to have the slight advantage of having position before you get to coordinate all those, but you got to call Germany's bluff. You got to throw. But yeah, I did that with Stephen Hogue was Germany and Katie was England. I was like, you have to throw all your dots.
It's an interesting question on draw. Because if you just looked at the map, I think you say don't draw. But if you know how the players have been playing, I think you say draw. And if I'm Turkey, I definitely don't draw because I got a shot at winning. And if I'm Russia, I'm like, okay, I'll draw. But I mean, it is going to be difficult for Russia to win from this position, but not impossible.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be difficult for Russia. Turkey should never draw. It's so tough because you feel like the game still could be a little fluid here and things can change, but it's very static. I think Italy and Russia have burned each other, so that relationship's gonna be hard to salvage. And EG has been solid the entire time, regardless of the position. So I don't see it breaking if it hasn't broken over Denmark.
Okay, time for grades. England's grade first does not pull out your spreadsheet to give everybody D's. England did not build. England did advance to gas. It did get into Gascony and Burgundy. Will be building in 07, guaranteed. Maybe multiple builds, maybe 3 builds, maybe more. But I think St. Petersburg, Marseille, and Spain are looking good for Cedric in 1907, and that would put him on 11. And I don't think he loses anything. I don't think he can lose anything here other than Denmark.
Other than Denmark.
Which would be bold to stab.
All he's got to do is tap Sweden, though. I'm just like, keeps them honest. He can move Denmark to Sweden, Skagerrak to Sweden.
Yeah, that's true.
That's safe.
Well, I think he'll go to Skagerrak will be in Norway, but he can still tap it from Norway.
This should be fun.
I don't think it happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't think
picking up Marseille and Spain. So if you lose one to Germany, then it's not arranged, then it's going to be a lot of pain for Germany.
I mean, if he gives Denmark back, it's got to go back to the army, right? Then what do you care if you're Cedric? You don't care at all if there's an army in Denmark, even if, like, I'd probably do that if I'm Cedric. If I'm getting 3, if I'm getting St. Petersburg, I'll give you back Denmark with an army only. That's not a stab.
It's not.
Okay. The grade. I give Cedric, I don't think he could have possibly done more here. And he's obviously got great diplomacy and people wanting to draw in his favor. So for me, it's an A. Even without a build.
Got to be minus. I got to be minus. Just as good as last time. B minus is a very good grade. Even though your last comment says that it was bad, but it's not. It was very good.
Tell that to my daughter. She got to be minus. She'd die.
This is a very positional year. Yeah. People put too much emphasis on perfection, I suppose.
France's grade didn't lose anything, except if you count the Western Med, which wasn't his to begin with. But is about to lose a lot of things. I don't think he could have played better. I don't think there's any incentive for him to turn Cedric around. He's even trying to draw. I'll give him a B+.
I got a D+, which is pretty much what he's staying at, which is actually really good for a power that's slowly dying. So good tactics, Rob. Good tactics. Keeping that GPA as high as you can while losing.
So if a B minus is a great grade, a D plus is a decent grade in the key scoring system. Okay.
For a dying power, yeah.
Darcy, no builds, no path forward, at the mercy of England, just trying to play defensively and hang on. Didn't get Denmark back. I'm sorry, Darcy. It's a D minus.
D minus. It's a C for me, and this is probably one of the flaws of my system is because he has such great alliance play, but it's not benefiting him at all. So I think those points that popped him into the C round were not very good for him. Outside of that, probably a D plus.
Philip lost nothing,
but technically a C. So take it.
Philip lost nothing. He's got an English fleet in the Western Med. He got Turkey into Serbia only to be rewarded with a fleet. But he does get Germany to go to Tyrolia. I'm not sure what more he could have done. For me, it's a C.
It's a C. It's such a mixed bag. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Helpful in Germany. Bad build by Turkey. Russia goes down, but now you have fleets and you have to predict. And tactics were good. He actually guessed everything right. So it's a C. It's still a mixed bag. Hopefully something will shake out a little differently, but no hope on the horizon right now.
Russia at 7, down 1, lost Serbia, rebuilt in Moscow. Seemingly has a friend, but maybe not for long in Turkey. Almost seems to sort of be throwing to Cedric. I think what's happening, I think this can be explained with Darcy wants to be in second place, which means that's why Tim is fighting Darcy.
Mm-hmm. It's like only one's going to grow for me is Cedric.
Yeah.
They might be prioritizing grinding him out. Maybe he's the only one that doesn't want to draw. If he wants second place, he's got to have to grow a lot more.
Yeah. And I think Tim's going to try and make that as hard as possible. Russian grade. He maintained a friendship for the first time ever. I'll give him a B minus.
It's a C minus for me. He shrank a little bit, and I think his chances of winning have reduced significantly. I'm
That's
not a
probably
huge
true.
fan
C
of
plus.
fleet comms.
C plus. I change it. You're right.
But
his win equity
went
went
C
way
minus
down.
for me. But definitely an A if that was a spite build. A for spite, but yeah, overall C minus.
Nikita, our enigma in Turkey here, the teenager, got a build, got that fleet out of the Black Sea, got Italian help, probably unwanted, but whatever. I'm going to give him an A minus.
He scored an A minus. It was actually an A minus this round. Whether that was malicious support or not, it benefited Turkey, and it put Turkey in the driver's seat in the RT for the first time all game. He gets a build that secures his entire perimeter. Once Turkey's on 6, they're hard to penetrate, so he can pivot either way. And all he really needs is someone to just say, "You can have my stuff. I don't want the EG to win." So this was a great turn for Turkey. That's why I hope that they don't take a draw, because there is a path for Turkey here.
Well, the thing is, there is a path for Turkey. It's a hard path. Like I put it at a 20% path, but it's a path. And
It's more of a
if I'm Darcy,
diplomatic path than a strategic one.
if I'm Darcy, I don't think I can beat Turkey for second place. If
No.
Russia's just prioritizing fighting Germany, that's really good for Turkey.
Well, if
And why
Italy
would
and
Russia
Germany are
ruin?
willing to hold it,
Go ahead. Sorry.
if Italy and Germany are willing to hold that line while England mops up France, it could be that I don't know. They only have 4 years to grind out an RT. I don't know how feasible that is. So
Well, I mean, they can take Trieste now, but the question is, does Turkey get it? Does Russia think I can't win? I've stabbed Turkey now twice. I'm going to help Turkey win.
it hasn't really stabbed him. He just has bounced Serbia and moved to the black a couple of times when Serbia was his. Not sure it was 100% stab. It definitely did not look arranged, but we'll see. Nikita's never really turned around, so apparently they worked it out every time.
Wouldn't it may be that Serbia can't take Trieste here? Hold on. Tyrolia taps Vienna.
You have to take it with Albania. Budapest taps Tyrolia. Albania goes to Trieste.
Yeah, okay. It can be from Albania, but it can't be from Serbia, I don't think.
Well, it could be. I guess Albania goes Adriatic, and then you can move Serbia.
Yeah, but if Tyrolia taps Vienna,
Tyrolia Vienna. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yep. You're better off moving Albania. Well, I don't know.
No, it's the same problem. I think Vienna has to be the one that goes to Trieste.
Vienna has to be the mover.
But then
you have to cover Buda. You have to cover.
You have to cover Vienna, which
now you can't
means
break Tyrolia.
Well, it depends on what Tyrolia does. It's not guaranteed. Put it that way. It's a guess.
There's so many guesses. Is Vienna the mover? Is Serbia the mover? Is Albania the mover?
All right.
That's insane.
Khan, do you think goes to Smyrna here, supported by a Aegean probably?
Yep, I'd go Smyrna to Ink. Most likely. Unless Russia's throwing, then I go to Armenia.
Yeah. I mean, that's a problem in and of itself, right? Because you don't want to lose Albania. You don't want to lose Aegean. Greece probably has to support Aegean. Maybe he just slow plays it. Maybe they slow play it in the spring as opposed to going for Trieste in the spring. To ensure the fleet
maybe
comes
out. Army Munich kind of is rough. Because like maybe they take Tyrolia here, but
I could see Smyrna going to Syria. I could see that happening.
You think he's going to convoy Trieste out?
No, I don't think that. But what I do think is that if Khan's going to Smyrna, maybe they want to blow up the fleet there. I don't know if.
Oh yeah, they could blow up east.
Yeah. But east might just move. It's hard to say what will happen. What do you think Tim does? I'm guessing Prussia, Silesia, maybe Galicia. I don't think you move Livonia. You still got that convoy problem. So Warsaw to Prussia or Silesia, Moscow to Warsaw.
You could always do Livonia to Prussia with support from Warsaw and then do Moscow to Livonia
Could do
to
that.
backfill.
Worst case is a
Or you do
bounce.
Warsaw to Silesia, Livonia to Prussia, Moscow to Livonia.
Yeah, it's not
I
perfect.
think they hold the spring. I think it's well worth making them guess in the fall instead of trying to scramble in the spring, because if not, you get to rebuild anyways, most likely.
Yeah. Okay, penultimate question, Keith. Who will win next season 9 main event?
Well, it looks like England's got it in pocket, so unless something radical gets thrown, it's England all the way.
I say it's England. I'm already now down to a subsidiary question. Who will be second place at Nexus season 9 main event, since that is more important to our players than winning?
That is tough. If the game goes on, I would definitely say Turkey is a shoo-in. There's nothing they can really do to stop them from getting second. I mean, obviously, if it draws now, then Tim's in. But I'm assuming it's not going to draw, because if Darcy wants second, then it's going to be Turkey. So I'd put money on Turkey.
I think Turkey as well. The only thing I can think of stab-wise is Italy races west now, and Turkey stabs Russia, and they work together. Do you see that as a possibility?
I don't. I think if Turkey stabs Russia here, if Russia has to pivot and disband, that's going to add more centers for Germany. And in this essence, more centers for England. So you're just making your threshold for win higher. So, like I said, this has got to be a diplomatic. It's got to be a diplomatic victory for Turkey, not a strategic one.
Yeah, I mean, my point is that I don't think there's no incentive for Italy to fight England. Zero. What does he care? Like, he's not mad at all. He's not even mad about Germany. Germany's trying to help him.
Correct.
So the EG is just fine with Italy.
If I'm Philip, I'm just pissed at Russia. And that's what I said with McAllis. Was like they made up, and he just turned around and burned them next season. I was like, now at the end of the game, you're never gonna have Italy in pocket ever again. It's like you have dashed Italy's game. It's a learning experience. I mean,
yeah.
Tim could have had Bulgaria, Khan, and Enk and let Philip go west, no problem. And then they both would have had a shot. Now neither of them have a shot.
It's like we've done 2 finals now, and it's just like going through the growing pains of Tim. And both. Like
he found out that he can't do crazy stuff at the beginning like he can in the preliminary round, the first round, and this time he's found the poison pill of switching alliances too often. It's that you need those friends at the end.
All right, my friend, as the sun sets down here in Utah, I appreciate that you're my friend and that we do this podcast together. And thank you. And thanks to our competitors. I suspect we will not have a full 1907. That's my suspicion. I'm calling a draw. But thanks, Keith, and have a good evening.
That would be pretty amazing. Never seen a draw on an extended press top board ever, or early draw.
We'll see.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Good night, Keith.
Good night.